Do you think it would be strange to see somebody in a wheelchair on a battlefield? Well, in the next Rainbow Six Siege, I guess that's a possibility. I wonder how they're going to work that out, and we're going to talk about it on That Game Place. Hi, folks, it's CC here, along with the Magic One himself, the trickster. It's Loki. How's it going, Loki?
Doing pretty good. I can't believe we're about to cover some Tom Clancy Rainbow Six. Not even called Tom Clancy Rainbow Six anymore. And I wonder why.
Yeah, it does seem rather odd, rather strange, rather different than what we would expect. But as you can see here, the alleged Rainbow Six Siege leak reveals that a wheelchair-bound operator is present in-game. This looks like a dev copy of something they're working on right now, and I have a feeling that this may be a little strange for people. The alleged leak shows that a new operator will be wheelchair bound. Now, operators are fairly mobile, aren't they, Loki? I mean, they're the one of the characters you control on these very complicated approaches to some of these missions, right?
Oh yes, they need to be very mobile. They need to be very quick on their feet. If they're not quick on their feet, well, they're a sitting duck. No pun intended.
Yeah, and I'm finding this strange because as you take a look at this, Jonathan Grant uploaded a video to YouTube that alleges that a woman in a wheelchair who powers up a robot will be an upcoming operator in Ubisoft's Rainbow Six Siege for its Year 9 Season 3 update, the Operation Twin Shells. Now, I have to ask Loki, if you, have you ever seen a character like this, someone with a obvious handicap that is impaired in one of these games? I don't remember that.
Not like this. Like I said earlier, you're a sitting duck. Usually, when you are trained for combat like this, you're taught to focus on center mass. That's a big center mass. You are a big target wheeling around in a chair like that. That's not something you want to throw out there that's at a danger to yourself and your team. You don't want to have that.
Yeah, I think it's very strange. I guess the entire season, well, it just premiered as of this hearing, would have aired already or already started August 25th. So that preview basically has a reveal panel for the whole season. You can go and check that out, I'm sure, right now. But it's not surprising that Ubisoft would introduce a wheelchair-bound operator. The company's made it abundantly clear that it's committed to DEI, which includes accessibility. And I think they're going to run into some stumbling blocks for their lack of authenticity of something that would be represented in the battlefield. A lot of these Rainbow Six games, and many of the others that are out there that simulate warfare in this manner are hailed for their ability to convey what it might be like and the kind of tactics that you would use in a team like this. So I guess the company's vice president for global diversity and inclusion is named Rashi Sika, and he stated, for Ubisoft, putting diversity and inclusion at the heart of everything we do means providing an environment where employees can thrive, building open-minded communities where players can connect, and creating games that reflect the diversity of the world that we live in. Here's a small problem. This idea of that the cultures don't exist, that, the practicality of things don't exist, I think they're going to have problems. Loki, I'll give you a chance to talk a little bit about any of that.
I could see this as someone that was like mission coordinating. I totally see that. I can't see this going into combat. I just can't. Doesn't matter what country you're from. No one would let this happen. No one would be okay with this. In an emergency, in a no choice situation, I can see it happening. On an everyday operation, no, this is not something that anyone would be pushed to do, or would be allowed to do in a situation like this. Rainbow Six is about a multicultural group of warriors, badasses that come together and kick some butt, take some names, and fight the terrorists, the bad guys. No one's gonna okay this. No one behind the scenes go, I think this is a great idea. Throw them in there. Let them see what happens.
Yeah, ability.
No one's gonna approve it.
Yeah, ability and mobility are probably one of the most key elements in this type of warfare. I mean, and again, I mean, if this person's sitting at a desk far away, maybe that'll work, but that seems to take away from the team aspect of Rainbow Six. I could be wrong. I will read this part because I think it's going to be funny for everybody to react to. In a direct quote from Sika, he said, "We will not accomplish all these goals overnight. No, you won't. Just as it takes years of iteration to develop a AAA title, we will only become a more diverse and inclusive company by continuously improving, trying new ideas, and learning from the results. It's a long-term commitment, one that we will tackle with the same passion and dedication that we bring to our games." Okay. Well, you're at Ubisoft. Ubisoft is about to experience two game failures in a row, extreme ones, because I have a feeling that not only will the Assassin's Creed game have trouble, I think we have another another game on the way that they will also have a failure on. I have a feeling that this Rainbow Six game is not going to help, and I think that they may lose some of their player base. I don't know, but what do you think about that?
I think it's theirs to lose. If they want to make decisions like this, I always say let them. Let them do it. Let them push this. Let them push their agenda. They have DEI quotas there at Ubisoft. So, you know what? Let them continue to build the trash fire and pour the fuel on the fire. Eventually, this will be their downfall.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have some real problems. I think that the idea that they're continuing to push this embedding diversity and inclusion across everything, including how they operate, they're going to continue to bring in more and more ideologues that will make their games less and less interesting to the vast majority of gamers. Um, Again, representation is not something that necessarily anybody's against, but most people that play these games are looking for something that's authentic in that inclusivity or representation that you're looking for, and you can't possibly do it in this game. And you can't do much of anything authentically if you're artificially bringing in people that have no business being either working on these games or bringing in ideas that aren't practical in their application in any of your games. At least there's a bit of lightheartedness here because it looks like Ricky Berwick did something funny. As for the alleged introduction of this alleged operator in a wheelchair, it's already being mocked and ridiculed. Comedian Ricky Berwick shared a skit he did mocking the new operator. And there you go. It's right there. And that looks funny as heck, right? We can't run it, but I think you should go and check it out. If you don't follow Ricky, you probably should. And he is also somebody that you'll find linked to Meta PC, which I think is a great company. Rock Solid also mocked the alleged leak gameplay of the new Rainbow Six Siege operator. So that's funny as heck. I don't think it's gonna work. And yeah, it says here's the Y9S3 new operator. It looks like some other videos may have been reported to the copyright holder. Well, I don't know how you can do that. This is obviously a parody. So I imagine they'll pop back up. Regardless, Loki, at the end of the day, what do you think about this? Do you think this is a good idea for Rainbow Six? Is this the right direction to go? Are they are
Absolutely
they
not.
are they moving forward?
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the kids that used to go and tattle to the teacher back in school. It almost seems like these devs, they're like, we want to do this, and they're just making things worse. They're making people not want to have anything to do with it. I have no problem with any disabled person in a wheelchair. I want them to feel whatever they want to feel. If they want to do something in a game, by all means let them. If they want to feel like they're powerful in a game, by all means let them. But the push in all of this is making people go, I'm just not going to play the game. And if the game bottoms out and there's no more people playing it, then what did that do? All you did was create a group of people that no longer want to play a game, and maybe even some jaded people that don't like the idea that all this is happening, that go, you know what, I don't want anything to do with any of this, and to heck with you because you added all this crap into a game that didn't need it. It didn't need it to be added to. So
Well, I'm going to ask you one question that hits a little close to home for both of us because we recently lost a friend who was disabled in the extreme, a legendary Tron, who was a gamer. I mean, that ultimately was the thing that Tron was, and we loved him to pieces. We helped raise money for his gaming rigging improvements and everything else. And in the extreme, he was confined to a wheelchair. He had very limited mobility. and the inability to speak, and yet he was a hardcore gamer. Do you think he would have wanted to see this? I'm just curious. I'm not to speak for him, but I think you'd be somebody that would know him best. Is this something he would have pushed back against, or if he would have been thought was like the right direction?
Tron wouldn't have cared. Tron never made a big deal about his disability. He always wanted to have fun. He always wanted to play a game. He was never griping, moaning about representation. He was never upset that he wasn't front and center on the cover of some game. He just wanted to play a game and have fun, and he smiled a lot. And that smile took him miles above a lot of the people that whinge, moan, and cry like we're seeing here over at Ubisoft.
Yeah, and like I said, it was wonderful to see him so joyful in the moments where he was hanging out with us or when he was at his best playing a game. So he will be missed. On that note, folks, not to bring you too far down, but what do you think? Do you think that stepping forward in places like this is appropriate when it's not actually authentic or realistic? Or do you think that it shouldn't matter at all, and you can remove reality from a reality based game and it's just fine? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Try not to be anything other than positive in your comments. Don't be ableist. That's not great. And just be authentic in them as well. Well thought out comments are appreciated on this one, folks. And on that note, as always, get your game on.